Over the weekend, I visited my parents and then I found these bananas there that reminded me of my childhood. In Kimeru, we call them hekono. My grandmother used to prepare them for us. Mostly she would boil them and then you'd eat them like a snack. So you wait until they are ripe, they are boiled, and then you eat. My mom has also told me they can also be roasted, which makes sense. So I've never seen these bananas anywhere else other than when my grandmother used to make them for us. And I asked my mom where she got them from. She came with them from Ushago being Chuka. I've tried finding out if other people have seen this type of bananas and how they call them. I shared on my Instagram stories. People were telling me Mkono wa Tembo, Boko Boko. Those are people from the coast. There's someone else who told me Bogo Bogo. She's Luya. However, upon further research, like I went and Googled, I even did a Google lens of the photo of these bananas, I realized what they were calling Mkono wa Tembo is most likely this. And this is what? Plantain. And as you can tell, these are very different types of bananas. Another thing I found out from my research is that in Jamaica, they call these frog bananas or frog plantains or buru bananas because of the way they look like. Actually, they mention them as to be part of the original species of bananas, because as we know, bananas as we know them now, majority of them are the ones that have been genetically modified. Anyway, without much talking, I decided I'm going to pit these two bananas against each other. It's more like a comparison. As I said, this is normally boiled or roasted. I'm going to steam the gekono and the plantain. I've never steamed plantain before, so that we can just compare. Then I'll do the pan frying test. For the gekono, you have to wait for them to be ripe so that you prepare them. For the plantain, you can even cook green plantains, like for example if you want to make tostones, though I prefer waiting for my plantain to ripen, because the more ripe the plantain, the sweeter it is, because the starch has gotten time to transform into sugars. I'm using my pressure cooker. I've put the trivet inside. So I'll start with my gekono. I'll just cut the ends. I place it there. I've never tried steaming this before in the pressure cooker. There's also the fact that since they're two different sizes, they may not take the same time to cook. Oh well, that's a future me problem. I'll do 2 of each. So steam function, let's do 5 minutes to start. In the meantime, we're going to pan fry the 2 of them. Here's my plantain, here's my gekono. My plantain is ripe. As you know, peeling ripe plantain is pretty easy. There's the plantain. For the gekono, let's see, cutting the ends. Peeled again very easily. As you can see, the gekono, because this side had caught the peel. Anyway, I'm just doing some thick slices, and then here's the one for the plantain. So it's so easy to tell the difference because of the size. Can you see the difference? The gekono and the plantain. I'll start with the gekono. And now we just flip once browned. There goes the pressure cooker. Anyway, we're still here, so this is done. I remove. Then when hot, I'll season with salt. But before that, now my plantain. Almost burnt to the plantanos. I've released the pressure. Let's check. Hopefully they're done. I can't easily pierce them. So it means, okay, I think the plantain is done. Let me remove the plantain, then add a few minutes for the gekono. Yeah, the plantain seems done because the fork goes through it. I've added 4 minutes for the gekono. As you can see, here's my steamed gekono, my steamed plantain. pan-fried gekono, the pan-fried plantain. I've just seasoned with some salt. I'll also season this with salt. I'm starting with the plantain. I've never steamed plantain before, so this is going to be interesting. Hopefully it cooked through. Okay. It's very sweet. Just tastes like plantain. Actually, this is not a bad way of enjoying plantain. Steaming them. And when people were telling me about mkono wa tembo, they were telling me recipes in the way they cook the mkono wa tembo or the plantain in coconut milk. And I feel like this is be a good way. I steam the plantain, then I add them to coconut milk. Yummy! That's really delightful. Very sweet. I feel like even the sweetness comes through more when it's steamed. Here's the gekono. I steamed this for longer, 9 minutes, and the plantain was for 5. That's how it looks like. I think it could have done with another minute. Anyway, let's taste. Wow! This is so much sweeter than the plantain. It's exactly how I remember it from the way my grandmother used to make for us. I sprinkled a bit of salt. Yummy! This would also be very good in a coconut milk. The gekono, the plantain. Texture wise, this is softer than the plantain. The plantain is a bit more sturdier, but this is sweeter. Wow. I'm so happy I did the steaming comparison, because I feel the frying may be a bit different. And it's not a must you steam, you can boil. I find steaming to be better, faster. I'm impressed. Now onto this plantain. I know how plantain tastes like. It's fine, just pan-fried plantain. Delicious. Now for the gekono. Here it is. Comparing the pan-fried gekono to the steamed one, the sweetness doesn't come through as much. Feels starchier than the plantain, but you can't tell it's the same thing. Like the pan-fried gekono against the steamed gekono, it's like night and day. If you have gekono, steaming or boiling is the way to go. Here, the sweetness of the plantain comes through more. And I wonder whether it's because since the plantain has ripened, the starch in the plantain has turned into glucose, and the glucose caramelizing when you cook, as in the sugars, sorry, caramelizing when you cook. But I wonder whether it's the same science with the gekono. Anyway, you can let me know in the comments. And if you've ever come across that type of banana before, do let me know how you call it in your language and how you prepare it. Otherwise, from me, Gatweri, kwaheri.